America Meditating Radio Show. We collect wisdom, inspire each other, and empower hearts on demand 24/7. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna, host of the syndicated America Meditating Radio. We bridge divides, we seek deeper meaning, and we answer life's most compelling questions from experts around the world. Because in a world of uncertainty and division within and out, we will need answers right here, right now. Join me and guests on America Meditating Radio, a show for everyone to learn more about this amazing thing called life. Do you like to meditate? Have you tried to meditate? Have you struggled with meditation? Why don't you visit one of the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center? Visit brahmakumaris.org. The Meditation Museum in Silver Spring, Maryland offers a variety of courses and activities to make your life go a whole lot smoother. Located at 9525 Georgia Avenue, you will be able to experience the beautiful silence that's in the space. There are courses in Raja Yoga meditation, positive thinking, stress-free living, and personal development classes. For more information, call us at 301-588-0144 or visit us online at meditationmuseum.org.
Get off the grid and step inside your heart. Sister Jenna guides you through a powerful, encouraging, and motivating meditation that allows you to let go and become aware of you, regain strength, power, and peace.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vin Verga, author of The Soul of All Living Creatures, and I listen to America Meditating Radio.
Thank you, Dr. Verga, and Om Shanti. Hello, everyone. Welcome to America Meditating Radio. I'm your host, the amazing, naughty, getting into trouble, getting out of trouble, Sister Jenna. Always love when you could join us because there are a million other things that we could do with our lives, and yet we choose to tune in so that we could learn and understand ourselves much better so we can be much better citizens. Well, the weekend is upon us in Washington, D.C., and the women and the men are flowing in the nation's capital. I had to write a letter of love to my beautiful friends at the National Park Service, which I want to give a very huge, humongous shout out to you. I know how challenging this time must be for you. And just recently, somebody, set themselves on fire. Antonia was telling me in front of the Trump Plaza. Everybody, I don't know what else to tell you. Despite whatever color we believe in, despite how negative this political campaign was last year and how it touched everything in our being that we either believed in and just said, this is not right, it's okay, it's done. And despite whatever someone might be, we've got to start to have the best wishes, because if we don't, we're all going to perish together. So we're being tested to put love on the table, and we're being challenged to be love ourselves, because if we are loving, we can love anybody. Okay, we don't care for their actions, but we still need to love their spirit. I know that there are times that we'll say, I can love you from a distance, but not close by. I get that. But the next president of the United States, or the president of the United States, Donald Trump, is just 10 minutes away from our museum. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to love that brother a lot. Just FYI, and definitely leaving the museum open for everyone to come to de-stress and to find a deeper sense of yourself and purpose, because we are being called for that. Don't change that dial. We're going to be having a talk with Lauren Imparato, and before we get Lauren on the line, let's do what we do best here, and that's meditate. Take a deep breath, everyone. Here is Here and Now by Carmen Warrington.
Here. These two meditation practices allow you to be present in the here and now. Not in the past, worrying about things that are over, not in the future, worrying about things that might be. Right in the present. Because right here and right now, you're okay. Let's begin with here. So make sure you're sitting comfortably and close your eyes or leave them half open if you wish. Begin by having a sense of where you are. Are you outdoors or are you in a building? Feel the temperature of this environment. Listen to the sounds in the distance. And what do you hear nearby? Notice everything without judging it, without commenting in your mind. Now sense your body, starting with your toes and slowly working your way up. Become aware of the soles of your feet and your ankle bones. Feel the bend in your knees. Feel where your hands are and whether your fingers are curled over or straight. Feel where your body makes contact with the furniture. Notice the curve in your spine, in your lower back, middle of your back, the curve in your neck. Notice the angle of your head and whether your teeth are together or slightly apart. Feel the texture of your clothing on your skin. Notice the temperature of your body. Sense the weight of your legs and your arms. Your head. Sense the weight of your whole body. Notice how still your body is. And how calm you are. Be present to your body here in this place for a few more moments. Rest in the stillness.
Thank you, Carmen Warrington, from Here and Now, a meditation that always keeps you in a place of absolute truth. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to America Meditating Radio. We're proud to welcome our next guest, Lauren Imparato, who's an author of the international bestseller Retox, Healthy Solutions for Real Life. Profiled on Dr. Oz, she was named one of the 100 Women in Wellness and Elle's This Is 30. Lauren never anticipated that yoga and the wellness world would be a part of her daily professional life. And after graduating from Princeton, she moved to New York to take on the big old Wall Street trading floors. And in spring of 2009, she resigned her job as vice president of Morgan Stanley. Can you imagine that? to launch I.AM.YOU, a wellness lifestyle company based on yoga, nourishment, and music. Isn't that beautiful when you just listen to your passion? Lauren has become revered as one of the globe's top lifestyle wellness and yoga experts, and she has led classes for tens of thousands and has been featured on Vogue, The Wall Street Journal, New York Magazine, Harper's Bazaar, to name just a few. She writes for Mind Body Green, Positive Med, and her own blog with a social media following of over 200,000. Today we're really, really glad to be welcoming Lauren Imparato. Hi, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
It's so good. How could you, Wall Street, the VP, and you're like sitting there, Omi? What is going on with you?
Yeah, it definitely was a leap. Definitely a leap.
I bet. But tell the truth, Lauren. Were you not feeling that even way before it was a signal? Maybe in your early 20s, maybe when you were in your teenagers, the signal was a thought. But because society said, nope, you got to get educated, you're going to go to Princeton, you're going to work, you're going to earn this money, you're going to... Did you ever realize that thought was always there telling you that was going to be your destiny?
Actually, absolutely not.
Really?
It started... No, I think hindsight is 20/20. I mean, now looking back at my childhood in California, where I was an athlete my whole life and studied anatomy and went to church every Sunday and did all sorts of visualization in my sports teams and with my family and ate in a certain way at home, it does all make sense. But, it took me actually years into this next career of mine before I realized that all kind of came together. So, I think that sometimes you don't realize it till you're doing it. Yeah, which kind of makes it more fun.
Are you okay? Scared? Any regrets? Any feeling of turning back?
No regrets at all. I mean, I definitely work harder now than I've ever worked before, but it's for something that helps people every day and is that I'm really meant to be doing. So that hard work is fulfilling in a very different way.
Okay, so you've left your job in Wall Street, right? What's it called? The big old bull that's there. That must have been so interesting, being around all of that male-dominant energy, and you were just, I'm sure you must have been good at your game, right? Here you are a few years later. You were very good at your game. So let's say, what, is it less than 10 years later? What are you learning so far? 7.5. What are you learning?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. What are you learning?
That's a big question. I feel like there's never a minute in the day.
Please,
I'm
let's
not
talk
learning.
about that.
Yeah,
all right.
Life is so beautiful, and there's always something to be learned and observed and celebrated. And that includes for on the trading floor and in Wall Street. I think that I've learned, I'm a very optimistic person by nature. Actually, that was one of my posts on social media this morning. And I always am very trusting by nature. And there was, believe it or not, sort of an implicit understanding of integrity on the Wall Street trading floor. And when I left to start my own business, I didn't understand that yes doesn't always mean yes, and no doesn't mean no, and, a handshake doesn't necessarily mean it's a deal, and different things. So I think that I've also learned a lot about people's different takes on integrity and hard work as well, amongst a thousand other things for wellness and meditation and how beautiful it is to help people.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know I've been on my journey for almost about 25 years, and there are times that you are designed to help people, but you also reach a point where you feel like you've kind of stopped helping yourself. Had you ever been there? Because I'm reading your Twitter handle right now where you said, I've been hated on for being too happy and optimistic many a time, but it's my nature. My sister, which you also had as your Instagram. But is there any time in your life where you just felt like you didn't care much for yourself, that you weren't taking care of you in these last 7.5 years? Oh, please share what you did to trigger yourself out of that.
Yeah, I think that the most intense time I felt that was actually now in this running a wellness business, which is just so funny in so many different levels. And, the time that it was most prominent that I talk a little bit about in the book, and we'll delve in with you more, it was just, it was the year 2, 3-ish of my business. I was teaching about 20 to 30 yoga classes a week, which is pretty intense, especially to the level and intimacy that I try and do it with. I was running the business, doing all the digital aspect of the business myself, all the branding, marketing, promotion, and trying to be a really good wife and daughter and friend to everybody. And I inevitably had like a total breakdown. And I tell it in a kind of funny way in the book. I tell the story, but, I was taking care of everybody else, and I had completely forgotten to take care of myself. And I was rationalizing it by needing to make money to make the business grow, which is absolutely true, needing to take care of everybody, because that was sort of my calling, which is true. But I forgot that, like they say on the airplanes, unless you really put your own mask on first, it's very difficult to help others.
Yeah.
And it wasn't obvious to me at the beginning, and I think I was probably a little bit bitchy, for lack of a better term, to everybody, from colleagues to clients to my loved ones. And
you right off
really
of Wall Street. It's like it's natural.
It was 3 years. It was 3 years into the wellness world, actually. So, it took me really having a bit of a breakdown where I was hysterically crying and exhausted, and hysterically crying. It seems to be always the sign. But I was like, oh my God, I haven't taken care of myself. And so then I just started to put in a structure that I try and hold to. And, I've failed at different points since then, and I've re-put it in. But that structure for me works. And for me, that structure is having some time in the morning before I barrel into the day. And that sometimes means a couple hours, and sometimes that means 20 minutes. It really depends on the day and what's on board. But making sure that I have time in the morning to be me, to be Lauren, to feel who I am on that day has been the most important thing for me to sort of keep it, as I call it in the book, keep it together no matter what life throws or whatever I decide to take on.
Beautiful. Well, we just followed you on your Twitter handle and looking at some of your tweets on Retox, your book Retox, Healthy Solutions for Real Life. It's all about integrating what is healthy and feels good into our lives without actually depriving ourselves, which is what we want as Americans. So tell me about, how did you come up with Retox, and is it really healthier than the trendy other detoxes that are out there?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. First of all, the whole point is that it's not a trend or a fad. It's a way of life. And it's a way of life that isn't about depriving. It's a way of life that's about living. Retox isn't about suffering to be healthy and happy and energetic. It's about living to be healthy and energetic and happy and successful. And, I was sitting there on the trading floor, and I just realized that all this, and this was before the wellness craze even really kicked off, but nothing much has changed. Most of the wellness out there, be it yoga, meditation, mindfulness, nutrition, diet, you name it, comes from a negative angle. It comes from a need to deprive or suffer to get better. And, I don't really understand where that all has come from besides a lot of corporate wellness money and marketing money. The reality is if you do the studies of philosophy and yoga and mindfulness and meditation and anatomy and nutrition like I've done, there's nowhere that says that you have to suffer to be happy, right? That you have to deprive yourself to be whole. And I really wanted to create a brand and a message and a way of life that reminded people that you can be happy and successful and energetic and feel like $1 billion by adding things into your life as opposed to taking things out. You only have one life to lead, and not eating your favorite pasta because of that is just silly to me. Just have it with a side of salad, right? And that's what Retox really is about.
Nice. I love the name, Retox. We're so used to detox, so Retox has got like a nice spin to it. Now, I know you're writing for our friend's new venture, Arianna Huffington, who herself did a very, very big leap of faith last year. And in one of your recent articles for Thrive Global, you talk about the eye addiction, being addicted to iPhones. And I know I am totally working with you on this one. And you've outlined the 12-step Retox digital detox program. What are a few of the most important steps that you can share with me and our listeners? Because we're in a society where we are so disconnected from our true energy, and we have replaced our energy with this technology. And I swear to you, and I'm not saying this, Lauren, as a religious point of view, I swear to you, I don't know how much we're really experiencing God's divinity and purity in our being if all of my energy keeps exiting myself on that little cell phone in the palm of my hands. And so give us a few tips if it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing that you note, which is so important, is that when we're on our phone, we don't realize how much of our energy is being sucked out. There is constant advertising happening, and every time you're on your phone, they're tracking what you're doing, so you can be sold more advertisement, right? And there's constant subtle or obvious opinions you're having on every person you're looking at on social media, and that's energy just going everywhere except inside of you. And it's not necessarily energy that's going out there to help somebody else. It's just kind of blabbing out there, for lack of a better term. So, I think the first thing is to realize that you're not going to die without your cell phone, and to be really blunt about that. And if you put your phone on
no.
mode, you know, or leave it, like if you leave your purse, your phone in your purse during dinner, it's going to be okay. Like if you have a child emergency, of course, keep it up there. But one of my biggest pet peeves is when I sit down for a coffee or a dinner or a drink with somebody and their phone's on the table face up. You know, I kind of find it very rude, and also it's distracting and it's detractive from that personal connection that that we all need so much, and we are having a tough time finding. So I like to put my phone on airplane mode a few times a day. And that allows me to feel like it's there in my hand, like my precious baby, but it's on airplane mode so no one can really reach me. And because even if we say that we're not looking at our emails, every time we see that inbox, even if we don't respond right then, it's somewhere in our mind. And I think that's a really important thing to remember, that even if you don't think you're being active and you think you're being passive, you might, be being more passively active than you think. Does that make sense?
It does, and that's one of the reasons why Arianna Huffington closed down doing Huffington Post to go into her sleep revolution and Thrive Global. It had taken over her whole being. Now, let me get more guidance from you. So I do that. I'm at a dinner. Cell phone is in the purse or in the pocket or somewhere, and I'm deciding no. And then, 2-3 hours later, 50 messages, literally. And then I find that I'm backed up. I can't respond. And something inside of me goes, well, just answer. So I just get everything out of the way. And then I'm done. But what's been happening, because I'm good at just getting the answer out of the way, it keeps coming more. It keeps coming more. So I keep telling Antonia, I'm retiring. She's like, whenever. Because you could just see the energy that I'm conditioned by is that let's move this thing called life. Let's keep amplifying, who and what we are, but find your balance. Find your balance, girl. So I'm telling you, I put it down for 2-3 hours, open it back up, regret it, because now I've got messages that I really have to respond to. What should I do?
Right. We all do. Well, they're never going to stop coming. And, the whole point of Retox is that we're not changing the outside world. We're making you better within it. To think that life is going to become less stressful and less busy and less chaotic, it's just, in my opinion, a bit nuts. You can go away and live on an island and dress in white and meditate 6 hours a day, but the second you come back to real life, nothing's going to have changed. And you also have stresses in those situations as well. So what I've done is something really basic. Is so I totally feel you, by the way, the bombardment and just needing to clean it out, but then you have another bombardment and clean it out. Is that I really, and it's taken years to really stick to this, like years, is actually pulling a little bit from my Wall Street days. In Wall Street, on the trading floor, you have to react to everything in a nanosecond, right? And you have to, or 10 things in 1 nanosecond that are all different. But sometimes in life, they're not all fires. Like, not everything is a fire that needs to be dealt with in that moment. Perhaps we just need to feel fulfilled in a certain way, and that's why we're treating it like a fire, almost like the glorification of busy that we see so much today in this world. So I've tried to break down my answering so that on the whole, I try and only answer things 3 times a day unless they are very urgent or a fire or they need to happen in a time frame because there's a certain ball moving and other people are depending on that. Otherwise, for my own sanity, in sanity I mean in body, mind, and life, I try and sit down and answer one bigger bulk at a certain time of day. Does that make sense? And that way I'm not becoming a slave to technology, and I'm not becoming a slave to the necessity to be busy. And it's also encouraging other people to not just be constantly firing away at things. Like the amount of times, I'm sure, you open your email or your text, and there's a lot of kind of ridiculous questions that the people on the other side should think about before sending that message about, right? And then if you explicitly take care of yourself by not answering in a second but waiting a few hours because you're going to focus on something better for a few hours, then maybe that person has solved that thing that they shouldn't have even texted you or emailed you about anyways. So in a way, you're sort of helping both sides in that.
It makes sense. I know, and as easy as it sounds, we're so caught up in the habit, the addiction to the habit. I know. It's just like the habit of it all. But, hey, yoga, meditation, breathing deep, valuing the family, really smelling the roses, and remembering the things that really matter can basically, I would say, salvage our lives and get us out of this technological insanity. what I call it. It's crazy. And our kids are not even ready for it. And we're not ready to deal with our kids because they're so advanced in the way that they see things and understand things. And you're still like, I used to go to school without shoes. What are you talking about? You're going to be going to school with so-and-so, It's a whole different world. How are you coping with raising the children with your new I wouldn't say new, with your enhanced transformation in the way that you are looking at yourself and the world around you?
That is such a big question. I think that I'm human like everybody else and, a little bit different from other people in the wellness space. I really try and be honest about my humanity, my good days and my bad days, my milkshake, pizza, burger days, and my salad, fish days, right? And, I think that we have to remember, what I try and remember, is that everything ebbs and flows. And there's certain times in life when one basket is prettier or doing better than another basket. And that doesn't mean that other basket is a bad thing. It just isn't blooming the same way in the moment. And so I try and really kind of keep a macro perspective on everything. And again, human, so I don't always succeed, but really try and keep that macro perspective on the connectivity of everything around you, and everything around you really being a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And from that, I really pull from my studies of yoga theory and philosophy, and that which are very similar, by the way, to lessons I grew up with as a Catholic in going to Catholic church and still being Catholic, and that idea of the importance of thinking of your, like I say in the book and everything I do, thinking of your mind as a garden, and thinking of yourself as the gardener of your mind. And so I take a lot of time and remind myself on a regular basis to plant the seeds that I want to live, to plant the seeds that I want to see grow and to thrive. And it's up to us to plant those seeds. And if we want, we want something, we need to give it away first. And it sounds old and cliched, but in this digital world, in this modern world of stress, I think that we often forget those very basic fundamental aspects.
Love that one. That's a great way to actually end our conversation. Plant the seeds that you want to live.
That you want to see grow or live.
That you want to see grow. Plant the seeds that you want to see grow, which really looks at, plant the thoughts, the words, the actions that you want to grow. Plant whatever level of consciousness you want to have growing in your life, and don't make any excuses, right?
Exactly. I mean, excuses I find to be futile. Just because all they're doing, they're extracting energy from things that you could be creating with. And we all make excuses. We're all human. But the idea of being the gardener of your mind, I think, is
beautiful.
Like one of the fundamental premises of Retox. But I think it's something that is easy to remember. And sometimes it does not take meditating in silence on a cushion for 20 minutes. It takes 1 or 3 deep breaths as you walk up the street to remind yourself of that.
That's beautiful. Lauren, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing, and 7.5 years in this major transformation. I think whatever are the hurdles that you've been through, you should be sailing through easy waters now, because you've been through enough ups and downs to basically go, oh my God, what am I doing? So, I'm just going to wish you and bless you with so many good wishes for just a smooth sailing for the next few years as this incredible idea and business for you grow. Please leave our listeners with a website that they could find you and information on Retox, the book, and leave me with one optimistic thought that you have for our nation.
So on the optimistic thought, I'll just pull from that gardeners, we need to each plant seeds for what we want to see change. Deflecting the gardening and the watering to other people and blaming a garden not growing but not doing our own watering or fertilizing is not going to work. We need to plant our seeds. And so that would be the most important thing, I would say. And in terms of websites, we actually have a gift for your listeners as well. So the main website is retoxnow, retoxnow.com. But if you go to meditate.nyc, like New York City, I'm actually, I'll give you guys a 1-minute free meditation that you can download into your phone, so that when you have 1 minute or when you don't think you have time to meditate, you can just listen to it, whether that's in the car with your eyes open, walking down the street, while you're cooking, while you're sitting before bed, whatever, so that you can always tap back into that power of the mind and into that inner gardener view. So again, it's meditate.nyc, and just put your email in, and my team and I will send you over the meditation. And then Retox Now is where you can see everything else.
Beautiful. Antonia just registered us, and please send us some meditation. We'd love to play it for you on the air and help your movement and your cause as well. Lauren, thank you so much. If you're ever in D.C., please come by and give us a visit.
Thank you so much for having me.
Same here. All the very best. Take care, my sweet sister.
Likewise. Have a great day.
All righty. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So as Lauren said, become a gardener of your own mind. Plant the kinds of seeds you want to have grow. Did you hear what Lauren said? Plant the seeds you want to grow. Become your own gardener of your mind. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what your power is, right? So I want to thank Lauren for joining us. And please go to her website, retoxnow.com. And then, of course, we've got a free meditation CD if you signed up. Antonia just signed me up. So, Lauren, send me my free meditation CD so I can calm down. All right, let me get Sister Gita on the air. Sister Gita, where are you? Are you going to be reading us a poem right now? We are just about to get to closing. Everybody, thank you. Here's our beloved Sister Gita, who's going to share with us one of her beautiful poems of the day.
Good day. Today we're observing it as the day of love and power. So I'm taking this from the Daddy Yankee's book, and it is entitled Companion of God. Daddy is known to be one of the world's wisdom keeper, and at 101, she radiates. Understanding Sickness is the title. A spiritual attitude towards sickness is to see it as a result of your own past actions or the seeds you have planted within you over a long period of time. That is due to the law of karma, which states that whatever your situation is today, it is the result of what you have done yesterday. These actions may have been performed in the immediate past or the far distant past. If you can accept responsibility in this way, and your heart knows how to stay in the remembrance of the One, then you will gain such power that even a major physical illness will not affect your ability to cope. Mountains are reduced to molehills. Without proper understanding, the reverse is true, and even a tiny physical complaint seems something enormous. Spiritual understanding teaches you how to perform actions so as to guarantee yourself a healthy future. It makes you realize the importance of performing good actions, as these result in a good future. For example, you can bring a lot of subtle energy and strength to yourself if you engage your body, mind, and wealth in the service of humanity. An adverse effect, on the other hand, is produced when these same things are used in a negative way. Let's reflect on these things, and it will make our lives a lot more easier and happier. We can dance in the mind as well as dance physically. Okay, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and greetings of peace.
Always love your vibrations. It's just something about the way you speak, Sister Gita. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on America Meditating Radio. Don't forget to download the free app, Pause for Peace, designed by a 13-year-old who was so bored one Sunday and saved us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And so we were able to offer you this as our gift. And there's just a humongous amount of resource. If you happen to be coming to Washington, D.C. this weekend for the Women's March, please come by on Friday night. Center yourself. I'm hosting all of you, free food, free conversation, free music by Elisa Hava. Please join us. We would love to have you on board. And always, don't forget, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission. And we really are here to love each other the same. So let us sing Reach Out and Touch Someone's Hand by Diana Ross, since we're going to be doing that a lot over the weekend. Take care, everyone.
We can't